Many people assume orgasm should arrive automatically during intercourse, and when it doesn't, it can feel confusing, frustrating, and even shameful. Let's start by acknowledging that this is common and completely normal. Physiologically, orgasm is not just about penetration. It's about stimulation, blood flow, and how the nerves and vascular system respond. Over the past decade, careful laboratory work has helped us move beyond guesses and into measurable explanations for why certain positions make orgasm more likely. I'm Dr. Susan Bliss. I work in sexual medicine and pelvic health. And in this presentation, I'm going to walk you through the 4 sexual positions that objective measurements have linked most strongly to increased clitoral blood flow and higher likelihood of orgasm. I'll also spend time at the end outlining practical techniques, small, doable adjustments, and partner actions that the evidence shows consistently boost pleasure for many women, no matter which position you prefer. Stay with me through to the finish. These technique tips can change results in a single session when partners use them thoughtfully. A recent line of research has combined 3-dimensional anatomical models with ultrasound imaging to actually watch what happens to clitoral blood flow in real time across different positions. Why does that matter? Because orgasm is tightly linked to vascular engorgement. When the clitoral tissue becomes more perfused with blood, sensitivity and arousal rise, and the physiological conditions that support climax become much more likely. Multiple clinical papers in sexual medicine echo the same basic finding. Clitoral stimulation and the resulting vascular response are among the strongest predictors of orgasm during penetrative sex. In one particularly revealing study, researchers even measured clitoral blood flow in a volunteer couple as they tried several common positions. That objective data is what guides the recommendations I'm about to share. Position number 1. The woman on top, chest-to-chest variation. This configuration gives the woman full agency over angle, depth, and tempo. Because she controls the tilt of her pelvis and the pattern of movement, she can precisely direct where the base of the partner's pubic bone, or penile shaft, contacts the clitoral complex. When done chest-to-chest, this position also lets partners stay close, read facial and verbal feedback, and make micro-adjustments on the fly. Ultrasound studies show that, in this position, clitoral blood flow tends to rise dramatically and fairly evenly on both sides, a pattern associated with higher orgasm rates. Survey data from couples also supports this. Women report greater likelihood of climax when they control the pacing and the angle of penetration. Practically speaking, the woman on top is powerful because it combines control with sustained, targeted pressure when adjusted to the individual's anatomy. Position number 2. The face-to-face with the man on top, optimized with a small pelvic tilt. Missionary variations often get dismissed, but a small change, most commonly placing a pillow under the woman's hips, can redirect the mechanics in a meaningful way. That gentle elevation tilts the pelvis so the partner's weight and the thrusting arc are more directly transmitted to the clitoral area. In imaging studies, this posture produced another clear increase in clitoral perfusion. Clinically, pelvic angling is one of the simplest, lowest-tech interventions with reliably good outcomes. A low pillow, a folded towel, or even a change in leg position can alter the contact point by millimeters, and those millimeters matter. The takeaway here is that missionary-type positions can be extremely orgasm-friendly when small positioning tweaks are used to bring the clitoris into more consistent pressure and contact. Pause for a practical point. Small changes, large effects. Before we move on, I want to emphasize something many couples miss. You usually don't need to invent an entirely new move to see better results. Tiny adjustments, a pillow, a pelvic tilt, a fractionally different angle, can transform how the clitoris is stimulated and how blood flow responds. Ultrasound doesn't lie. When the pelvis is tipped, or when weight is shifted forward, we see measurable engorgement in the clitoral tissues. So if you or your partner are frustrated, start by optimizing familiar positions for your unique anatomy, rather than assuming the only solution is some exotic pose. Position number 3. The caudal alignment technique, a refined missionary-style approach. This variation intentionally reorients both partners so that the base of the penis or the pubic bone, presses continuously against the clitoral complex rather than relying on fast in and out thrusting. Partners slide and rock their pelvises together in a controlled, gliding motion that produces sustained, targeted pressure. The movement is less about depth and more about constant, rhythmic contact. Research reported in clinical literature has shown that women who previously did not reach orgasm from penetration alone were able to do so when partners practiced this alignment and motion. It's not an instant fix. It requires clear communication, practice, and coordination. But when executed with attention, it produces a steady sensory signal that the clitoris reliably responds to. Position number 4, seated, face-to-face contact. Sitting upright, holding each other close, and moving together creates excellent opportunity for intimacy, sustained eye contact, and fine motor control. In terms of pure clitoral blood flow, this position tends to produce moderate increases, generally less than the top 2, because gravity doesn't assist the pressure in the same way. That said, its strengths are psychological and sensory. Closeness and connectedness can amplify arousal, and modest pressure against the clitoral area during seated thrusting can still be quite effective for many women. For couples who value emotional connection, novelty, or slower pacing, this position often produces improved satisfaction even if it's somewhat less likely to produce a spontaneous orgasm without paired stimulation. So those are the 4 positions that objective blood flow studies and complementary survey data have identified as especially promising. But positions alone don't tell the whole story. Let's move on to specific techniques. Practical, research-supported actions you and a partner can use within any position to raise the odds of orgasm. Angling, small changes to the hips and pelvis, a single folded pillow under the sacrum, a slight arch of the lower back, or a small lift of the knees can reorient the internal geometry so the clitoris receives more direct, repeated contact. Try micro-adjustments during sex and ask your partner for immediate feedback. Does a half-inch change feel better, worse, or the same? This is the simplest, most reproducible trick in the book. Rocking. Replace aggressive thrusting with controlled pelvic motion. The long, steady rocking pattern we discussed with the caudal alignment technique gives the clitoris sustained pressure instead of intermittent impact. Slow, rhythmic pelvic movements, coordinated breathing, and matching tempo can create a continuous sensory signal that the clitoris and surrounding tissues respond to very well. Shallowing. Focus on the entrance and the front vaginal wall. The anterior vaginal wall and the area just inside the introitus are densely innervated and richly connected to the clitoral network. Shorter, shallower strokes concentrated in that zone often generate outsized pleasure compared with deep thrusts. Practically, this may look like a series of slow, shallow ins and outs combined with a stable contact point for the clitoris. Pairing. Add direct clitoral stimulation to penetration. Combining penetration with direct manual or toy-assisted clitoral stimulation is among the most consistently reported ways to increase orgasm likelihood. Large surveys and clinic data suggest a majority of women find that pairing is helpful. Some studies report figures approaching 70%, endorsing pairing as effective. The key is coordination. Synchronize manual stimulation with the partner's pelvic movements, communicate about pressure and speed, and experiment with whether vibration, tapping, or sustained pressure works best. Across all of these techniques, the common threads are communication and curiosity. Ask for concrete feedback. Do you want more pressure, less, faster, slower? Use touch, words, and nonverbal signals to fine-tune in real time. Treat sex as an experiment, not a performance. That shift in mindset alone reduces anxiety and often increases responsiveness. A few closing considerations for male partners and for overall sexual health. Circulation, hormonal balance, and self-confidence are important contributors to male sexual function, and they matter for shared sexual experiences as well. Good cardiovascular health supports reliable erections and stamina, which in turn creates a calmer, more satisfying sexual environment for both partners. If men are exploring supplements, I always advise caution, evidence-based choices, and a conversation with a healthcare professional before starting anything new. In the context of the video, I provide 2 safe, commonly discussed options. A natural source of L-citrulline, which can help support nitric oxide production and vascular health for modest circulation support, and a well-balanced multi-ingredient herbal formula used by some men for energy and libido that combines herbs like acarian from horny goatweed, tonkat ali, fenugreek, and nettleroot plus citrulline for vascular support. If you mention any supplements in your content, make sure to include the standard medical caveat. Consult your doctor, watch for interactions with existing medications, and prioritize reputable brands. What works for one woman won't always work for another, and the only reliable pathway to better outcomes is curiosity, consensual experimentation, and clear communication. Try small adjustments first, pair penetration with direct clitoral stimulation when appropriate, and focus on the pleasure of discovery rather than a checklist of outcomes. When partners approach sex as play, with patience, precision, and presence, they almost always find more satisfying results and a deeper connection. So as we wrap up, remember this. Better intimacy is not about chasing perfection, but about learning, adjusting, and staying present with your partner. The science is clear. Small changes in angle, movement, and communication can unlock incredible results. When couples treat sex as exploration rather than expectation, the outcome is not just stronger orgasms, but also a richer, more connected bond. If you found this helpful and want more evidence-based insights into Everprime Vitality, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who could benefit, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss the next discussion. Your support helps us keep bringing you the knowledge that can truly transform relationships.